Hey guys, the Duda2. Welcome back to my Go channel. I wanted to continue letting you kind of get a peep into what's going on with the Go School, uh, what I've been doing and what I've not been doing. Um, there was a lecture last week on something called the aggressive Chinese opening. And what I did not do was pay much attention because I figured I didn't know the regular Chinese opening very good. So what I did was I spent the hour that he was explaining the aggressive Chinese opening, because all the lectures are recorded, and I watched and practiced and studied the Chinese opening lecture. So I got a pretty good basics in the Chinese opening, and I've been constantly practicing all the patterns and such and reviewing as best I can. So I felt I was ready, you know, to at least put up a good fight against the Chinese opening. Because the very first match that I won, my opponent played a Chinese opening, and I had no clue how to handle it. So he had a huge start, and I got lucky and pulled off the win at the end. So this week I actually had to play 2 games because I believe I stated once a month you play 2 games, and then the other 3 times you play 3 games, and that's 6 people in a league doing a round robin, so one person has to play 5 times, and you do it in a month. So since there's only 4 weeks in the month, 1 week you had to play 2 games. So this is the week I played 2 games. So last game I played, which was on Thursday, I lost my first loss, and the reason I lost, I think, is because I didn't study the aggressive Chinese opening. My opponent played the aggressive Chinese opening, to which I figured, okay, well, I learned the Chinese opening, so I let him make the Chinese opening, kind of against my better judgment, and then I played regularly against the Chinese opening, and it didn't work good for me at all, and I couldn't understand why. And then he stated, oh, you did good playing the aggressive Chinese opening. And I went, oh, come on, man, I didn't even look at that. So I kind of screwed myself on that one, but I think for good reason, because now I understand, at least a good amount of the basics of the Chinese opening. So um, I guess I could start learning the aggressive Chinese opening variation now. I do think I'm going to start on the Orthodox opening next. I think once I get the Chinese opening and the Orthodox opening, then I'm going to try to focus on another aspect of Go, like maybe my end game or something. But so that was my first loss, and then I played my second game earlier today, and I lost. Um, I don't want to sound like a baby or anything, but I'm going to probably sound like a baby anyway, because isn't that what happens when you say I don't want to do something, and then you say but, and then you end up doing it anyway? Okay, in the middle of my game, my power went out, and my internet connection went out. So I spent a good 4 or 5 minutes running around doing everything I can, rebooting my modem, rebooting everything, and I finally got back online, and the game was still there, so I joined the game. I was a mess. I was freaking out because I, I don't know how you guys do it, but uh, I took these games as seriously as I've taken anything in my life. So I've, uh, took the time. The games are 40 minutes with, I think, 15 moves within 5 minutes, Boyomi, which is insane to me. Um, the 40 minutes is great, but the playing a whole bunch of times in between moves is just really stressful. Anyway, so I was playing this game and I was winning. I was winning the first 130, 140 moves, winning a lot. Then my power went out. I came back in. I just could not settle myself and focus, like a warrior should be able to. You know, it really took a lot out of me, and it was not good. So I ended up losing by like 15 points or 18 points or something like that. And of course I was white. Every game I've played this season I've been white. I think I'm a bit stronger playing as black. I think most people are. Most people at least say that. So, but what's neat is I played a double 3-3 opening as white. Uh, my opponent played an Orthodox, and I had a double 3-3. And it was a really good game. I think it was a lot of fun until my power went out and I lost 6 minutes of time, and then toward the end of the game, I really felt like I should have won, man. I felt like I outplayed him locally and globally. You know, I played really good moves. I just couldn't settle myself down. So I really feel like that's why I lost. So it sucks too, because if I would have won, I think I would have been guaranteed to move on. So now, for me to move on, I have to win the next game, and I have to, or my opponent has to lose his next game. So it's kind of like one of those wild card things. I have to win and somebody has to lose, and if all the stars align, I get to move up to the next league, which I don't see happening. And actually, I didn't really kill anybody. You know, I feel like I'm right around the same strength, or maybe just a tiny bit stronger than some of these guys anyway. So, like I said, I feel like I got lucky that first game I played. So anyway, so maybe I deserve to stay in this league for a month. It just would have been nice to be able to tell you guys I moved up. But I am planning on doing a couple videos of some of the neat stuff I've learned. Especially, I want to go over what I learned or what I memorized for the Chinese opening. And a couple other things, like, let's see, I got when you're reducing territory, for instance, you want to reduce from the middle first and then the bottom. So if your opponent has a Moyo and you could jump in from the top or through the side, you always want to jump in through the top first. And you know, I hopefully I'll remember and be able to give some examples of that. But he showed why it's better that way, and it's pretty awesome. It's just a little thing to remember. If you can reduce from the top first and then the bottom, and then whenever you need to reduce, you need to think shoulder hit. Reduce, shoulder hit. Reduce, shoulder hit. Your opponent's territory is too big. Invade. Invade doesn't work. Reduce. How do you reduce? Shoulder hit. For beginners, shoulder hit, shoulder hit, shoulder hit, shoulder hit. So there's an awesome lecture supposedly that he did on shoulder hits. So after I learn the 1-2-3 opening, my next I guess adventure is going to be memorizing the shoulder hit lecture. So that's pretty cool. One thing I've been lacking is I haven't turned in any homework yet. I really have not. Like, here's my dilemma, and maybe you guys could give some opinions. What do you think? My dilemma is this. Maybe I get an hour and a half a day for Go, period. So what do? Do I spend the hour and a half playing in a serious game on KGS, trying to increase my rank? Which I could do. I'm sure I can increase my rank a little bit by playing serious games and taking my time and studying, because I feel like I've gotten a lot stronger. Or do I spend that hour and a half studying a lecture and memorizing patterns and trying to get a feel for the game and trying to learn? Because I figure I could play games after school's over, right? So probably be better for me to just kind of do these lectures and play these serious games. But the problem is, if I'm doing a lecture, I'm not playing a game. If I'm not playing a game, I don't have homework that I could turn in and get reviewed. So it's almost like I'm kind of stuck, you know. Any opinions or advice, you know, throw it out there. But I do feel like I'm getting stronger. I played really well. I feel like I really should have won. I was just so far ahead. I played great. I'm starting to get a feel for the opening. My end game's still pretty weak, but honestly, I don't know how weak my end game really is, because by the time I get to end game, I'm always out of time. So I have to kind of play fast anyway. I don't know if I would actually be able to play some good end game moves if I had time to think about it. So, but I feel like my reading's improved. I don't know. Maybe after the school's over, I'll be able to share some of these games or something like that. But that's where I am now at the Go School. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'm probably going to start publishing, or I guess uploading the different book reviews I did to kind of make this a little more interesting for some of you guys who just don't give a crap about me and Go School. So I'll probably be uploading some of those here pretty soon. Alright, thanks. That's it, guys. I'll check in next week. Later.